Hello, and welcome to this episode.
Hey guys.
We are at the check-in for the Sonora Rally, so we're going to walk around, check things out, and
we'll show you some of the sights because there's a lot of cool cars and motorcycles around.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to grab some footage for you. We don't really know what the next week holds for us as far as our time, so we'll try to get shots and share with you what we can when we can. But
absolutely.
I'm excited.
Hey there, I'm Kelsey, that's Tim, and this is the story of our adventure. Life is fleeting, and we want to squeeze every bit out of it. We are wandering the world, so home is a bit of a moving target for us. We love finding the random, the remote, and sharing it all with you. So subscribe to get lost with us and hopefully find some inspiration to go after your own dreams.
Made it to the Sonora Rally, so we'll show you just a quick walk around. Right now we just got here and it's pretty exciting. There's not a lot of crowds here, just everyone working, getting the trucks ready.
Yeah, the access is unprecedented, so if you're at all interested in, you know, sort of the pros of Dakar and some Baja guys, and you want like up close sort of ability to see the race cars and the racers, this is crazy. I mean, there are no crowds, no restrictions really on walking in here and just walking around looking at stuff. They've got plenty of people that are like security and whatever to make sure nobody's cars or bikes are messed with.
Yeah.
But they're just putting together their race cars for tomorrow, and there's Sebastian Loeb hanging out.
Yeah,
So it's amazing.
Totally different than like the Baja races, Baja 1000, Baja 500, that sort of thing.
This is super low key.
Yeah, super cool. So we'll show you around a little bit, and that's where we're at today. You guys remember the shovel that we had on the back of Dusty? Same exact shovel right in this truck. It's pretty funny. The things you recognize. By the way, it is very, very warm today. So if I were a racer, I would not be stoked on the weather.
I wouldn't want to put on a fire suit right now.
It's like probably 100 right now.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be about 100 today, 99 to 101. It's funny because the team side is very similar to Baja. You go through, you know, tech inspection, scrutineering, and then you get a whole bunch of stickers that you need to put on specific to this race, sponsors, your number plates, whatever. But there's just no one around. I'm used to it just being an absolute zoo, kind of like a party happening. Bands playing, tons of spectators walking through, just wanting to catch a glimpse of drivers, race cars, etc., vendors everywhere. This is actually really nice. I think if I were a racer, this is the kind of racing I'd want to do. Very low key. Just you, the other racers, and a few dedicated fans and the organizers, and then you just get to the business of racing.
Yeah. All right, and then back there is where they're doing tech inspection, or scrutineering as they call it here. And I think that's pretty much the tour of everything right now.
Yep, we're gonna take you up through tech, and that's the end of that.
That's as exciting as it gets here right now. It'll get more exciting in a couple days. See what I mean about the wedding? Literally, wedding, right behind me. Tech inspection. Alright, that's the end of the tour.
Okay, so we are currently driving the Prologue. This is the kind of stuff that makes a week of volunteering. It's a lot of work and a lot of cost, really, to come and do volunteering for an event like this. But this is one of the things I think is really cool. We're driving the Prologue course, so this is sort of day 0. Day 1 you could call it, but really day 0 because it's not a full stage. It's a time trial for all the racers to go and sort of sort themselves out for tomorrow's placement. And so we are stationed at a point on this, being a sweep crew, and we get to go out and drive the whole thing ahead of time. So not all the courses will be able to do that because some are hundreds and hundreds of kilometers. And so you can't just run out, zip through it really quick and get to your spot. But the Prologue, I think, is 20 kilometers today. And so we're able to go and do a loop of it. And yeah, it's just kind of a neat thing to be able to check this out. We'll show you all the equipment we have in just a second.
All right, guys, so this is our first little position here. You can see we are here doing sweep, and then there's another vehicle with us doing like medical. The course is right behind me. We're kind of on a corner. Got some beautiful cactus and such. And the bikes will start coming by pretty soon. So yeah, we're just waiting. Today is just kind of a short prologue day. And then the real stuff starts tomorrow. So we're just hanging out. But we'll show you as the bikes come through. All I have to say is I'm glad that I have a shower tonight because I'm already very dusty. Alright, well, it is still going, but we're sitting in the car trying to get shade because it's pretty hot.
101, something like that.
Yeah.
And we're just covered in dust, so we just getting out, watching some competitors and videoing.
Yeah.
But it's hot.
It's real hot.
We'll give you a little tour of the gear that we have.
Yes.
But we'll probably better do that on the GoPro.
Probably. I'm going to switch to the GoPro. The GoPro, by the way, has done some tough work today. I'll show you a couple of the shots that we got. They're really cool, but it was questionable whether the GoPro would make it or not. Really any of the camera equipment today and this week, the dust is tough on all of this stuff. So, you know, hopefully everything makes it through this.
Maybe some of the other days we'll have a breeze and we can actually pick a side of...
Yeah, right now it's kind of light breeze and keeps changing which direction it's going, so you can't really help getting dusted out occasionally. Anyways, going to the GoPro for the tour of our stuff in the car.
Let me show you right behind us here. You can see this mic hanging. We just hung it like that because a stuck mic where it's sitting somewhere, something's pushing against it, can be very dangerous because this is, you know, all the medical and really everyone associated with the race is attached to this SAT radio. So it's an ICOM and it looks like a normal ham radio, but it's actually satellite. So everyone will make sure they have good communications. So we have two channels, sort of the main channel and then sort of the medical emergency channel on that. So that's just a basic ICOM. We have a puck up on the roof and we have it plugged into power so it never runs low. Up here, this is the rally comp. This is actually, it's kind of neat because it's the same thing that the racers have. So I've used Stella and then I can't remember what the other one was in races that we do in desert racing. And it's very similar to that. This is showing you waypoints that you need to collect essentially, and it'll only show them to you when you're close to them. So the chart book, the roll charts are still what you're going to be looking at for your navigation. But then when you get near a checkpoint, a little arrow will come up and tell you, especially like if you're in the sand dunes, you can picture it. We're on a road here today, but if you're out in the sand dunes, you know, it could just be some random dune to the left that the actual checkpoint is in. And so if you've gotten close enough via reading the book, this will help you get that last little bit of distance to it. For us, we're just running it, and each day we'll log in saying that we're on the course. And so on the big tracker of all the race cars, they'll see chase or sweep 5, which is us, and where we're at. And they'll see where the medical teams are at, they'll see where the ambulances are at, where the helicopters are at. So, you know, it makes sense to me that we all have these, just like the racers. We just probably have a name saying sweep 5 or Sierra 5 when they look at the computer. But then they know where everyone is at. And that way too, if somebody's hurt, they just can take a look at their GPS and you know, figure out who's closest, which medical person's closest, which sort of recovery person like us is close, and send them to it. But those are the two main things that we have. Up on the roof, we're running our ham radio antenna, so sort of a race radio. All the guys volunteering have ham radios, and so that's how we're all communicating with each other if it's not super important. We also have Starlink up there, so anyone camped near us, we're letting know if they want to log into the Wi-Fi, they can have good service that way. And then we have a WhatsApp group sort of for the event, for anything that's not urgent is being sent to that. But I think that's pretty much it, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's our gear walkthrough. It's really hot.
It's really hot. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. So we were up really early this morning, left Hermosillo, drove most of the way down to Guaymas. Not really all that way, kind of between Guaymas. And got to our little area we're supposed to be at.
At 0800.
We were at our location this morning pretty early, and then there's been a lot of sort of disorganization and confusion. And it's kind of crazy when you think about how many people are involved in this and how again and again we're like, this is definitely the point we're supposed to be at, confirming, and then all of a sudden we just got a message, hey, go 30 kilometers backwards on the course.
So we're going around.
So we're actually going around. We're not
the
going to
bikes
go
are on course.
We do have to go about 7 kilometers down course with them coming up behind us, and that's unavoidable. So we're switching to a new location to set up a transfer point, but it's wild. So many moving parts. I don't envy anyone doing this, but man, it also seems
slightly unorganized, is putting it nicely.
And so, enough on that. We are looking forward to seeing some racers pass us by, but we're racing to our new location.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see the bikes go by, or at least most of the bikes go by. We'll see. Alright, quick update. This is our post for the rest of the day. So they know themselves, the racers. Their little clock tells them when they're allowed to go, but this is the point where they stop and wait. And so we basically just note who's gone through the point and get to watch all the guys go by. Unfortunately, they're stopped, so we just get to watch them stop and then go. So you can see back there, they kind of hang out, wait until they have maybe a minute until they're allowed to go, then they come up here and hit the road again. So that's what we're doing today.
So we spent the rest of the next few days stationed at points like this, which was not the most riveting place to take in the race, watching everyone come in, wait, and then take off. When we were positioned on a road, we watched the local traffic go by, waving as they passed back and forth, going about their day's work. We did get to help some racers, which was awesome. At one spot, the federales even came to see what this race was all about. We explained these were racers from around the world, telling them where each one was from as they came through, which they thought was pretty cool.
I've seen so much racing before. Motorcycles, trophy trucks, whatever. The speed of these guys is insane. I think because there's the liaisons, there's the starting and stopping. When they go as if it's like a short course race, just 100%. Everything they have, they're laying it out there. And I know they're not because they have to do many days in a row, but man, when they go so hard. It's amazing to see the speed. So I'm sure it's hard to tell on camera, but maybe if I get a couple videos of like the nationals, who are probably like as good as or better than the best guy you've ever met. The guy you know who rides dirt bikes, who's like better than everyone else in your group, better than anyone else you've ever known. Those guys are probably that faster, right? These guys, the FIM category, the international guys, are on a whole nother level that I can't articulate.
As with all races, there is a sense of community as you run into racers or fellow crew, maybe at a gas station like this, and get to catch up and get a glimpse into how their days had
The
gone.
guy, and I put oil in the chain, just because I was like, it's one thing I forgot to do last time, so that's the oil from that, and then
Hey guys, hey, how's it going?
it bent this guy pretty gnarly,
Good.
so we'll see if it's the oil seal, or maybe that's just the oil from that. We'll see.
Will you shake the wheel again?
Yeah. That's not a shake. That's nothing there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Glad you're okay though.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's so much happening. We haven't had much of a chance to be at the bivouac at night because we're getting back so late. We're like a couple miles away from it, and then it's just time to crash, wake up at 4 o'clock the next morning and go. I mean, to me, this is like an ecosystem. I know that's a bit of a, may sound like a bit of a stretch, but everywhere there's somebody attending to a vehicle, going through the entire thing. Motorcycles. Some people are doing their own motorcycle if they're Male Moto, which is a class where you have to do everything yourself. No one can touch your motorcycle. I think except another racer. I think that's the rule. But everywhere you can see there's mechanics going over everything. And we saw all these trucks and cars today racing at full fury. I just love it. There's something, I don't know, something special about seeing. It's like a little city here.
Yeah.
And everyone's taking care of their job and working through the night, because now is their work time, and tomorrow during the race is the racers' work
It's definitely
time.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, to see all the teams and how they work, and a lot of them how much money they have for
Oh, yeah,
so
for
many
sure.
vehicles and so
For
many
sure.
parts and trucks that they brought over, and yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a big operation. And considering I don't think we've really seen a single person at the entire rally that is clearly a spectator. I'm sure there's some, but
Yeah.
you know, today we were at our checkpoint and there was Rob McCachran, best desert racer driver of all time for 4 wheels, Johnny Campbell, best moto Baja guy, and then you had Toby Price, and they were chatting with him. And like, you're just, it's staggering that there's no one around, no one's bugging them. It's just people working the event or people racing or helping them race. That's pretty cool.
Now this was my favorite day by far. We finally got lucky and were stationed on a long beach section where everyone came by flat out. And, well, it was a much more pleasant place to spend our day, and also a lot more fun to spectate here.
This is amazing. So this, again, is very much like Baja. You find a section of beach that's sort of hard to get to, or take some sand dunes, or some deterrent, right? The beaches that have a good road to them have tons of campers parked on them. And here we are, no one around, and we're on the race course. This is a good day. This is a good assignment. We were down at the other end of this beach, and we opened a bunch of gates, and we noticed that 2 sweep teams had been assigned to the spot down there. So I said, well, I think you wanted one at the top of this beach where this other sweep team was supposed to go. They were given the wrong coordinates, but we said, hey, we'll run up there then because we're already ready to go. So now we're getting to run the whole beach section of the course. What a great assignment.
So as we wait for the first racers to come through, it's not a bad place to wait, checking out all the stuff that is living in the water. As a kid, I used to come down to Rocky Point, and I have very fond memories of hanging out at the beach all day long, checking out the tide pools. This kind of reminded me of that. So
this spot makes up for our other assignments.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's such an awesome spot, and there's so much beach coastline here to drive. And coyotes everywhere.
Yeah, they're all eating something at the water, I think. And
I can see the lines from those little
yeah,
worms
check them
like
out.
that.
I see it. Tim. It's kind of like mind-blowing how fast they're going, because you see them way off in the distance and your brain tells you like, oh, they are a ways away, I don't need to get ready to like take a picture quite yet. And then I look up again and it's like, bam, they're right there. It is staggering the speed that they're going. Pretty crazy.
Well, the Golden Goose didn't really get to stretch his wings much during the event, but we did get to sweep the course after the last riders passed our beach spot, which was fun. And I have to say, he really continues to impress us off-road. As for the event, we were exhausted, and we were more than a little frustrated with the back-end organization. But it was a really neat experience to see and interact with so many of the racers we enjoy following from around the world. And without being part of the event, a rally like this is tough to spectate because they don't release the course. So even though it wasn't a great volunteering experience for us, I'm glad we did it. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.